into your home.
You are watching Luntha television and it's time for news. My name is Hilbert Katanda. First, the headlines.
Catholic Church leader Pope Francis prays for fire victims in Benin. Former Malawi Congress Party president kicks the bucket. Government appeals for patriotism amid security crackdown. And in news from elsewhere, United States of America pauses aid to Gabon after military coup.
Well, we have these and more other stories to stay tuned in. A Catholic Church leader, Pope Francis, says he's deeply saddened to learn of a tragic fire in southeastern Benin, which killed at least 35 people, including one child. The Pope made the remarks during his Wednesday's general audience, saying he has sent a telegram to show his solidarity with the people in the area. A telegram sent on his behalf by Cardinal Secretary of State Pietro Parolin. The Pope says he joins the victims' families in mourning. We have the details.
In the message addressed to Bishop Aristide Gonzalo of Porto Novo, whose diocese includes the city of Sam Creek, where the tragedy happened on September 23rd, the Pope says he prays for the repose of the deceased, entrusting them to God's mercy and for the recovery of the injured. The Holy Father also expresses his support for those accompanying the victims of the fire. He prays to Our Lady to bring strength and consolation to all those affected by the tragedy and invokes divine blessings on each person and on the entire nation as a sign of comfort. The fire broke out at a shop where witnesses said gasoline was being unloaded. The chief prosecutor said the fire burned down the store and, according to an initial assessment, resulted in 35 deaths. He added that an investigation has been opened to determine the cause. During the general audience, the Pope also made his latest heartfelt appeal for the suffering people of Ukraine. The Pope encouraged Polish-speaking faithful to continue welcoming their Ukrainian neighbors forced to flee due to the war.
The Episcopal Conference of Malawi has announced that the Conference of Bishops from Malawi, Zambia and Zimbabwe will be held from the 15th to the 19th of July 2024 at Blue Waters Lake Resort in Salima. This is according to a statement released on Tuesday, which has been signed by the ECM President, His Grace Archbishop George Desmond Tambara. The meeting is expected to tackle both religious issues and governance matters. Emmanuel Chuocha, reading a report compiled by Bernard Manza.
According to Archbishop Desmond George Tambara, the sub-region conference will provide a platform for the bishops from the three countries to discuss and address important matters pertaining to the faith community and challenges that the Church is facing in today's world. The bishops will also be given an opportunity to exchange ideas, share experiences, and collaborate on initiatives that promotes unity, spiritual growth, and social justice within the community. ECM Secretary General Father Valerian Omtseka says all arrangements are in place ahead of the conference, while calling on the laity to participate in preparation more especially on fundraising part to find more resources.
The bishops in Malawi have announced the upcoming sub-regional conference that is going to take place from 15th of July to 19th of July. And this conference is going to bring together bishops from Malawi, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. When I say bishops, I'm talking about Catholic bishops. So they'll come together and digest issues together. We have a number of issues that would be affecting our region. When I say our region, I'm talking about this region of Malawi, Zambia, and Zimbabwe.
The conference is reported to be pledged at 86 million Malawi kwacha. The conference was initially scheduled to take place in Malawi from 17th to 21 July this year, but it was pushed forward to give room for the recovery of some Catholics who were hit by the tropical cyclone Fred in southern Malawi. For Luntha TV, this is Emmanuel Chuocha.
Tributes are pouring in for the erstwhile Malawi Congress Party President John Tembo following his demise on Wednesday due to diabetes. The death follows the worsening healthy condition of the veteran MCP leader who slipped into coma, with doctors trying to resuscitate him at a private clinic in the capital of Lilongwe. Democratic Progressive Party President Peter Mutharika, Malawi leader Lazarus Chakwera, and UTM President Saulos Chilima have both described Tembo as a strong instrument to Malawi's independence. Mutharika said in a statement, "We have seen that Tembo contributed a lot to the development of the country." Chilima, on the other hand, said Malawi has lost a strong pillar which was built over decades. John Zena Sungapake Tembo served as Reserve Bank of Malawi governor as well as cabinet minister in the Kamuzu Banda administration. He also served as member of parliament for the South constituency. After MCP became an opposition party, he led the party to elections as its presidential candidate in 2004 and 2009 before leaving politics in 2013. Government is yet to know a policy position on whether to bring back roadblocks or not following the recent murder and assault events. Chief Government spokesperson Moses Kunkuyu was speaking to the press on Wednesday when he gave government position on the events. Kunkuyu has, however, refuted reports that government is bringing foreign investigators on the murder cases. Robert Edward reports.
According to the Information Minister Moses Kunkuyu, the President has directed Police and Homeland Security Ministry to combine resources in efforts to put an end to the killings and seriously investigate to illogical conclusions of the matter which will bring the perpetrators to book. He has further clarified Homeland Security Minister's sentiment for a foreign assistance on the matter, saying government will not bring foreign investigators but use the existing pact with neighboring countries who are more advanced in cyber security issues.
But also people using the same cyberspace to lure others into a trap where they get murdered or they get injured. Then it becomes an issue where interventions do not exclude cybersecurity experts, which we can source locally or internationally.
He further emphasized the need for citizens to find other ways of resolving disputes and expressed concern on social media misinformation, referring to the Central Boat driver case, which was widely described as an attack which led to his death, while the facts of the matter suggest that it was a mob justice and that the person is alive. Currently, police is said to have made progress in the investigations. For Luntha, this is Robert Edward.
You are still watching news on Luntha television and on our various social media platforms. Now do stick around as we'll be back shortly after the break.
Luso Technology yatibweretsera nkhani yabwino. Lilongwe, Luntha ndi Mzuzu, chimwayi chofuna kuphunzira ntchito zamanja chomwe takhala tikudikirira chija chafika. Kuyambira pa 2 October 2023, Lusotech ikhale kuphunzitsa makosi akumtima kwanu ndipo pamapeto mudzalandira certificate ndi zida zoyambira ku repairing courses. Ndipo 85,000 mudzalipira makosi awa: ICT, computer, tailoring and fashion design, electrical and solar installation, audio production, video production, phone repairing, computer repairing, electronics repairing. Pamene 200,000 mudzalipira makosi awa: plumbing, welding, catering, komanso course methodology. Registration ndi 5,000 kwacha. Kuti mulembetse, imbani foni pa manambala awa: 0995 545449, 0995 545449, kapena 0888 114412, 0888 114412. Olofikani ku maofesi athu omwe ali ku Lilongwe White Falls pafupi ndi Admark, pamene ku Luntha City Plaza Building floor number 3 ulimbe kumeneko. Pamene ku Mzuzu mutipeza moyang'anana ndi main gate ya msika wa mahardware. Masiku anotu somangokhala manjalende. Tiyeni ku Lusotech.
Welcome back. Now let's have a look at our top stories once more before we proceed.
Catholic Church leader Pope Francis prays for fire victims in Benin. Former Malawi Congress Party president kicks the bucket. Government appeals for patriotism amid security crackdown. And in news from elsewhere, United States of America pauses aid to Gabon after military coup.
Government, through the Ministry of Tourism, has asked Malawians to be patriotic by speaking positive about the country to promote tourism industry. In an interview on Tuesday, the Ministry of Tourism spokesperson Josephine Nkosi said despite the challenges the country is facing, Malawians should be in the forefront talking good about the country as it is a tourist destination. Nkosi said tourism is economically, socially, and environmentally important to the nation. Emmanuel Chuocha reports.
As Malawians joins the rest of the world in commemorating World Tourism Day, spokesperson for the Ministry of Tourism, Josephine Nkosi, says government will take an opportunity to raise awareness on the importance of tourism. Nkosi said the ministry is aiming at promoting domestic tourism that also includes promoting domestic products. He said the country must not rely on international tourists, by citing an example of how the country's tourism sector suffered during COVID-19, saying it was the domestic market that cushioned this gap. According to Nkosi, the ministry has a number of initiatives that is promoting domestic targeted products.
be positive about our country. Let's talk positive about our country. Of course, there are challenges, but we are not supposed to be the ones highlighting the challenges on social media, on any other communication gadget. Let's be positive about our country. We should not wait for someone from outside the country to come and talk good about us. No, it should be us talking good about ourselves and our country. So since this is 27 September, let's be positive of our country. Let's promote our country as a tourism destination.
This year, the day is being commemorated under the theme Tourism and the Green Environment. For Luntha News, this is Emmanuel Juocha.
Sherwood Open University says it remains committed towards complementing government efforts and quality education provision. Vice-Chancellor for the university, Dr. Theodora Mapemba Msamba, made the remarks earlier today during a press conference where she announced that the university will be ushering into the world over 100 professionals. The university will hold an extraordinary graduation ceremony on Friday, the 29th of September 2023. Chandu Mzumara reports.
This is the 14th congregation since the university's establishment in 1994 under the vision of providing quality education and enhancing training opportunities and access to all students from various backgrounds in line with SDG 10 of reducing inequalities. According to Dr. Musamba, the university will continue to produce graduates who will transition the country's economy from net consumption to net production, taking it closer to the realization of the Malawi 2063 vision of becoming a self-reliant nation.
Complemented the government in providing higher education in the country. Would like to encourage them to be innovative, to be creative, to think outside the box, and not just to be confined into getting a job, but they themselves creating employment.
The ceremony is themed Beyond the Walls into the World, with graduates in several studies including Bachelor of Business and Finance, Bachelor of Science in Public Health, and Masters of Arts in Human Resource Management, among others. Guest of honor at the event will be the Deputy Minister of Education, Nancy Chaola Mdoko, MP. For Luntha News, this is Tandiwe Mzumara.
And now in news from elsewhere, the United States government has announced that it is halting its aid to Gabon following last month's military coup. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said in a statement that they are opposing certain foreign assistance programs that benefit the government of Gabon while evaluating the unconstitutional intervention by members of the country's military. Military officers in oil-producing Gabon said in August this year that they have seized power, placing President Ali Bongo under house arrest and naming a new leader after the Central African State Selection Body announced the current one had on a third term. Charity Chilanga reading a BBC report.
The statement further states that the temporary measure was in line with actions taken by the regional Central African Bloc, the African Union AU and other global partners following the coup. Gabon's membership of the Economic Community of Central African States ECOWAS and the AU was also suspended following the coup. However, it notes that operation activities in the country were continuing, including diplomatic and consular operations to support U.S. citizens. On August 30th, Gabonese military leaders overthrew President Ali Bongo just after he was declared the winner of an election. He had been in power since 2009, succeeding his father, Omar Bongo, who first became president in 1967. A new prime minister appointed by the junta told the BBC earlier this month that the country would hold fresh elections within the next 2 years.
And news just coming in is that as one way of controlling illegal trading, trafficking and poaching and endangerment, the Lilongwe Wildlife Trust, through the Department of National Parks and Wildlife, has trained media practitioners on the significance of being a member of the Convention of International Trade in Endangered Species of World Fauna and Flora. According to the department's principal parks and wildlife officer, Alexander Chunga, having conservation policies for wildlife alone is not enough, but journalists should also write more on the cases to reduce illegal wildlife trade. Jacqueline Saidi reports.
As many reports keep coming on illegal trade and trafficking of some wildlife species, the Lolongo Wildlife Trust has trained journalists on ways to report these cases to better control illegal trading, trafficking, poaching and endangerment of wildlife through the policies outlined in the CITES by different nations. Speaking in an interview on the sidelines of the training, Alex Chunga said even though the perpetrators of the wildlife crimes and illegal traders believe that they might be benefiting on the backs of the wildlife, they are in actual sense robbing their country of national benefits, which, if controlled, might help the general public and further increase the GDP of the country through tourism, as outlined in the Malawi Blueprint Vision 2063, if these species were left alive.
Most of the damage that people do on wildlife and the environment in general are because people do not see the value of those things. A live elephant in its lifetime, an elephant lives for about 75 years. In its lifetime, when it's out there in the ecosystem, it will have contributed a lot to the economy of the country, which economists have valued to say, I think a live elephant in its lifetime would have contributed about 75 million kwacha to the economy of the country. So that's we should look at it from an economic point of view.
Malawi joined the Convention of International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora in 1982. With CITES, there has been growth in NGO involvement and conservation, which in turn is helping in implementation of policies and obligations outlined by the CITES. For Luntha Television News, this is Jacqueline Saidi.
That also concludes our today's news bulletin. But before we go, a reminder of our top stories.
Catholic Church leader Pope Francis prays for fire victims in Benin. Former Malawi Congress Party president kicks the bucket. Government appeals for patriotism amid security crackdown. And in news from elsewhere, United States of America pauses aid to Gabon after military coup.
My name is Helbert Katanda. Thanks for watching, and it's goodbye for now.